Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about rainbows. How many of you have ever seen a rainbow? Do you know how they're formed? Well, those rainbows, or those streaks of color up in the sky, are formed when light shines through water. So have you ever been at your house and it's just rained and then the sun comes back out and you can see those colors up in the sky? That's because there's still those water droplets or water particles in the sky, and when that sun shines through them, that's making those colors, because that light comes through that water and it bends and then it reflects just like you see your reflection in a mirror, and then that's how we get those colors. And it's not just with rain and sunlight. If you've ever had your sprinkler or your water hose out in the yard and you have it and it's going and the water's going up in the air and the sun catches it, you can see bits of those colors through that as well, because that light is mixing with that water or hitting that water, and that's how we're seeing the colors. And if you haven't done that, maybe this summer when it's warm, your parents can help you see that. So today I want to talk a little bit, and we're going to make our own rainbows. So there are 7 colors to the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Roy G. Biv is how we remember that. And that's just taking the first letter of all of those colors. So we have R for red, O for orange, Y for yellow, G for green, B for blue, I for indigo, which is like a dark blue color, and then V for violet, which is like purple. So Roy G. Biv is a good way to remember the colors of the rainbow, and that's the order that you would see them in, from like the top of the rainbow to the inside of it. So it would go in this order. So a couple of ways that we can make our own rainbows are, we can take just a paper plate, or if you wanted to use just a piece of white paper, you would take it and fold it in half, and then when you open it back up, you would cut it down the middle, like this. And then you would cut just a little bit out of here. It doesn't have to be much, just so that when you have that rainbow, you know how it arcs like this? You would have that. So you would cut this out, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Mine wasn't perfect when I made it earlier. So you're just going to cut out, and if you need to trace it first, that's okay. That's probably what I should have done. But now you have your arc. And then you're going to remember Roy G. Biv. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And I took markers, and if you use markers, make sure they're washable ones, or make sure you put a piece of paper down behind it when you color so that you don't get it all over the table. Or you can use crayons, or you can paint it or whatever. Just make sure you don't get it on whatever you're coloring on, like the table or the countertop. So I colored mine red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So now I can do a couple of things. I can put it on a background like this, if I want, or what I'm going to do is add some clouds, because usually when we have rainbows, they're coming through the clouds and they look really cool. So I'm going to take some cotton balls, and I don't have any glue. It would work better if I had glue, and I thought I did, but it's nowhere to be found. So I'm going to take some tape. And you can use tape too if that's all you have. It'll still work, but glue would probably be better. And I'm just going to fold it inside out so that it's all sticky on both sides. And I'm going to put my cotton balls down like that. And then I have little clouds. So that was super easy. Or if you're thinking, but I don't have any cotton balls, or Mom doesn't want me to use all the cotton balls on these art projects, that's okay. You can take a piece of white paper, and you know how clouds are kind of fluffy looking and they have those round edges. You can take a pencil or a pen, and you're just going to make a cloud on your paper. I drew one, and I'm going to cut it out. Actually, I probably drew that too small. Let me do it a little bigger. So I drew my cloud, and it's a little bit crooked, but that's okay. I'm going to cut it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because even cutting around round edges is a little bit tricky. So I've cut out my cloud, but I don't want my little bits of blue to show, so I'm just going to take it and turn it upside down. I'm going to take more tape, or glue if you have glue, that would be good. And glue sticks would probably work as well. You would just have to put a lot of glue down. I'm going to put it down there. So I flipped it over this way so that you can't see the blue line. So when you tape it or glue it down, you're going to want to put the glue on the side that has the blue lines, or the lines from where you drew it. So now I have a rainbow and my clouds. And then if you want to draw in, you could draw in little raindrops if you wanted. You know what raindrops look like? They look kind of like a teardrop. They're like a triangle at the top and then a half circle on the bottom. You could do that because we can't have the rainbows without any rain. Or if you wanted to put a sun instead of the clouds, you could do that. And for that, you would just cut out a circle. Let me find some yellow paper. And this is some that I used on another craft. You can see where I cut my hand out, but I don't want to waste the paper because I can use it for other things. So I'm going to draw a circle, and it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. And mine is not a perfect circle. But you're going to take it and you're going to cut out along what you drew. And mine's not a good circle at all, but that's okay. And you can take it and you can tape that on there too, just like you did your clouds. And that would work as well, because you have to have sun or you have to have light to have a rainbow too. So another way that we can make a rainbow using a cloud is we're going to take our white paper, and I'm going to use this piece just so I don't waste paper. And I'm going to go around the outside and make it look really fluffy. So I drew a cloud, and it's not very good, but I'm going to cut along the edges. So I cut out a cloud. It's not a perfect cloud, but it'll work. So now what I'm going to do, you can do a couple of things with this. You can put it on a background piece of paper. So let's say I took this piece of paper. Actually, I'm going to use this because it looks like the sky. You can use this in a minute, but first, you see my lines where I traced it? I want you to turn that down so that those lines where you traced are on your table. What you're going to do now, you can take white paper and cut it into strips. So you only need to cut like this much when you cut strips. It doesn't have to be very wide. You can cut out 7 of them for the 7 colors and then color 1 for each color. So you would do red, orange, yellow, or I took construction paper and I cut them into strips. So I have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So I cut out my strips, and don't throw away the piece of paper just because you cut these ends off. You can use that for something else. So I have all of these strips, and I might have dropped, oh no, I found it. So what I'm going to do is, starting from, well, I told you wrong. You're not going to put this side on the table. You need this side facing up, because this is what you're going to attach your rainbow to. So you have this part up, you're going to take your red, and you can glue it. I'm going to tape it because I don't have any glue. So I'm going to tape down my colors. I have red, tape it to my cloud, orange, tape it to my cloud. Oops, I taped it crooked. There we go. Yellow, green, so far this is what I've got. And I taped them on the back that has my lines that I traced when I cut it out. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and indigo is like a dark blue color, and then violet. And I should have scooted these over a little more just so that all of them would fit nicely, but I didn't, and that's okay. So I have them like this. I've got my trace line on the back, and that's where I taped onto my rainbow. So I've got them that look like this coming out of the cloud. Now you can take them if you want and attach them onto your background, which mine is too short because I cut strips off of it to use in the rainbow, but that's okay. So you can attach it, and then you have your rainbow in your sky, and it follows those same colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, Roy G. Biv, or you can just leave it like this. Either one's fine. This time I want to do the same thing, but I want it to come out of the sun. So I took a yellow piece of paper and I cut it, or I folded it in half, and then I drew a half circle. So let me show you what I did. I took a yellow piece, but you can take white and you can color it in once you cut it out. That would be okay too. Took it and I cut it in half, or I folded it in half. And then I took and traced it. I took my plate that I used for my rainbow earlier, and I lined up the edges like this. And it's not perfect, but it'll still work. I lined it up like this, and I just traced around the side. And then that way I had something to follow when I cut, because I'm not very good at drawing half circles. So I did this, and it's not going to be perfect, but it'll be okay. So I'm going to come down on my corner, and I'm just going to go up and then follow that circle that I traced. So now you have a half circle. And you can color this yellow. I just did mine with yellow construction paper, so I didn't have to color it. So I have this part. I'm going to lay it down. It doesn't matter which side you put down. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my colors. And you can do it with white, and you can color the paper, or you can just cut out the colors. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to go this time. I'm going to start on the left side. So I put it on the back, like that. So I'm going to do red. Make sure you follow that pattern. Remember, Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. That's your pattern that you're going to follow. So red, orange,